Imagine stepping outside to a patio so small you used to ignore it. And in one afternoon, it feels wider, like it can finally breathe. Imagine a border made from broken tiles you almost threw away, catching light like a mosaic ribbon. Imagine glass bottles half buried in the soil, glowing at sunrise. Not as decoration, but like quiet little lanterns guiding the edge of your garden. And imagine this, every idea you're about to see is built from what most people discard. Yet the result looks calm, handcrafted, and strangely expensive. If your patio feels too small to matter, this video might change that forever. Welcome to Backyard Fortune, where simple homes become magical gardens using what everyone else throws away. If you love upcycled ideas, small space makeovers, and practical beauty you can build yourself, you're in the right place. Subscribe for weekly inspirations, because the smallest corner can still become the most beautiful part of your home. And if one idea sparks something in you, please share this video on WhatsApp or Facebook so more garden lovers can discover it too. To everyone who shares and watches, may you be given a long life, good health, and peaceful days. Now, let's start with the first border that turns broken things into light. One sunlit bottle lantern border. Imagine a quiet Christmas Eve, when the garden grows still and the light arrives lower, softer, more thoughtful. The day begins to fade, and along the edge of the soil, glass bottles rise gently from the earth, half hidden, half revealed. As the winter sun dips, they begin to glow, catching warmth and holding it for just a little longer. Each bottle carries a memory of another life, now transformed into something calm and purposeful. The glass reflects pine branches overhead, the muted green of rosemary, the soft silver of evening air. Moss gathers at their base, time drifts slowly between them, and suddenly the border no longer feels like a boundary, it feels like a welcome. There is no rush here. The light lingers, stretching itself across the patio as if reluctant to leave. The bottles glow not to impress, but to comfort, quietly marking the edge of the garden like small lanterns guiding the season home. In moments like this, the garden becomes more than a place. It becomes a pause. A reminder that even what was once ordinary can hold warmth, especially at the end of the year. And as the light settles and Christmas night draws closer, the path curves gently forward, inviting us to discover another edge, another story, waiting just beyond the glow. Two, broken tile plus bottle mosaic ribbon. Imagine a winter afternoon, just before Christmas, when the light turns gentle and every surface seems to glow a little longer. Along the edge of the garden, broken tiles, once scattered and forgotten, begin to form a quiet ribbon. Each fragment finds its place beside another, not in perfect order, but in a rhythm shaped by care and time. The ceramic pieces carry warmth in their colors, soft creams, muted blues, traces of terracotta, while glass bottles rise between them, catching reflections of the fading day. As the sun lowers, light slips across the mosaic, lingering on edges and curves, as if reading the story written there. Moss settles naturally into the gaps. Time drifts over the border without hurry. Pine branches rest nearby, lending the air a subtle seasonal scent. The edge does not separate the garden from the path, it gently connects them, guiding the eye forward with calm intention. There is comfort in this kind of beauty. Not polished, not perfect, but deeply human. A reminder that even what was once broken can become something that holds a place of honor, especially at the close of the year. And as the ribbon curves toward the next corner, it carries us onward, toward another border, another quiet transformation waiting just ahead. 3. Brick plus bottle S-curve edge. Imagine a garden edge that doesn't move in straight lines, but follows the quiet rhythm of the land. On Christmas Eve, when the light softens and shadows stretch longer, an S-shaped curve begins to guide the eye, brick by brick, bottle by bottle. The bricks rest low and steady, their surfaces worn smooth by time. They bring weight and warmth, grounding the garden in something familiar. Between them, glass bottles rise gently from the soil, catching the last traces of daylight and holding them like small reflections of the season. As the curve unfolds, it slows your steps. Lavender leans toward the edge, rosemary releases its subtle winter scent, and moss settles calmly into the spaces between materials. Nothing feels forced. Nothing tries to stand apart. Earth and light meet quietly here, each giving the other room to breathe. This kind of border does not command attention, it invites it. It encourages wandering, pausing, noticing how the garden shifts as evening arrives. The curve becomes a soft conversation between solid and delicate, old and renewed, stillness and glow. And as the S-shape leads you gently onward, the garden opens once more, toward another edge, another quiet transformation waiting just beyond the turn. Four, terracotta shard mosaic steps. Imagine a small rise in the garden, where the ground gently asks you to slow down. On Christmas Eve, as daylight softens and the year begins to quiet, these steps appear not as construction, but as an invitation. Broken terracotta and pottery shards, once scattered and forgotten, now gather beneath your feet. Their surfaces hold warmth, glowing softly in the low winter sun. Each fragment carries a slightly different tone, a slightly different history, yet together they form something steady and reassuring. Moss settles calmly between the pieces, and time drifts across the edges without hurry. As you step upward, the texture beneath you feels alive, earthy, familiar, grounded. Nearby, terracotta pots echo the same colors, and rosemary releases its subtle scent into the cool air. These steps are not meant to impress with precision. Their beauty comes from patience. From the way broken things, when given time and care, become the strongest parts of a place. They remind us that progress does not need to be rushed, especially at the close of the year. And as you reach the top, the garden opens once more, leading gently forward, toward another edge, another quiet story waiting just beyond the next turn. 5. Cottage rubble stones that look like river rock. Imagine a path that feels as though it has always been there. On Christmas Eve, when the year slows and the garden rests, these stones settle quietly into place, no longer rubble, but something calm and familiar. Once sharp and uneven, the concrete fragments have been softened by patience and care. Their edges are rounded, their surfaces muted, carrying gentle tones of gray, clay, and earth. Arranged along the garden's edge, they begin to resemble river stones shaped by time rather than tools. Moss gathers naturally between them, stitching each piece together with a quiet green thread. Time drifts across the seams, blurring the line between stone and soil. As evening approaches, warm light brushes across the path, and the stones seem to glow, not brightly, but with a steady, reassuring presence. There is honesty in this border. It does not pretend to be perfect. Instead, it celebrates the idea that beauty often arrives slowly, formed by what we choose to keep rather than discard. At the close of the year, that message feels especially true. These stones ground the garden, anchoring it in stillness. And as the path curves gently forward, it leads us onward, toward another corner, another quiet transformation waiting just beyond the edge. Six, pallet plus brick raised bed frame. Imagine a small patio corner that finally feels anchored. On Christmas Eve, when the garden settles into stillness, this raised bed stands quietly in place, steady, warm, and reassuring. Weathered pallet wood rises gently from the soil, its grain softened by time and use. It carries the marks of another life, now reshaped into something patient and dependable. Below, old bricks form a grounded base, their edges worn smooth, their color deepened by the low winter light. Inside the frame, dark soil rests calmly, ready to hold herbs and winter greens. Rosemary leans toward the air, lavender brushes the edges, and time begins to wander, softening every line. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels out of place. This raised bed does more than hold plants. It gives the garden a center, a place where everything else can gather. In a small space, that sense of structure matters. It creates balance. It brings calm. At the end of the year, there is comfort in building something that feels lasting. Something made not from new materials, but from what remained and was given a second chance. And as evening light fades across the pallet boards and bricks, the garden invites us forward once more, toward another idea, another quiet transformation waiting just ahead. Seven, reclaimed stepping stone whisper path. Imagine a path that asks nothing more than a gentle step. On Christmas Eve, when the garden grows quiet and the air feels reflective, these stones appear, resting lightly on the soil, guiding movement without urgency. Each stepping stone comes from what was once overlooked, fragments of concrete or stone, shaped not by perfection but by time. Their surfaces are softened, their edges worn smooth, inviting a slower pace. Moss begins to settle between them, and time drifts across the gaps, stitching earth and stone together with calm persistence. As you walk, the path subtly changes how the space feels. It no longer rushes you from one place to another. Instead, it encourages pausing, listening to leaves, noticing the shift of winter light across the ground. Lavender borders lean inward, rosemary releases its familiar scent, and the stones quietly hold their place. There is something deeply comforting about a path like this. It doesn't announce itself. It simply exists, doing its work gently, reminding us that even small movements can reshape how a garden is experienced. And as the stones lead you forward, one careful step at a time, the path begins to curve, opening into another corner, another idea waiting to be discovered just ahead. Eight, gravel plus wood clean drainage band. Imagine the quiet line where the garden learns to breathe. On Christmas Eve, when winter air settles softly over the soil, this narrow band of gravel appears, not as decoration, but as a gentle pause between earth and path. The stones rest calmly in place, each one carrying memories of water and movement from another time. Held by simple wooden edges, they form a clean transition that feels both intentional and natural. Rain has somewhere to go here. Mud gives way to clarity. And the garden, almost unnoticed, begins to feel more balanced. Time drifts slowly toward the gravel, moss gathers at the edges, and rosemary leans nearby, releasing its familiar scent into the cool evening air. As light fades, the gravel catches small reflections, subtle, steady, never demanding attention. There is beauty in something that works quietly, something that supports the garden without calling itself the center. At the end of the year, that kind of simplicity feels grounding, reassuring. This slender border reminds us that not every transformation needs to be dramatic. Some simply make everything else better by being in the right place. And as the clean line leads your eye forward, it gently carries us onward, toward another idea, another edge waiting to shape the garden's story. Nine, chunky timber beam border. Imagine a border that feels steady the moment you see it. On Christmas Eve, as the garden settles into quiet reflection, these timber beams stand in calm formation, solid, grounded, and deeply reassuring. Each piece of reclaimed wood carries a history written in its grain. Knots, cracks, and weathered edges remain visible, not hidden. Placed side by side along the soil, the beams form a strong frame that gives the garden a sense of order without stiffness. They do not compete with the plants they hold, they support them. Lavender sways gently behind the wood, rosemary leans forward, and moss finds its way into every small space. The scent of winter greenery drifts through the air, blending with the warmth of aged timber. As evening light softens, the beams glow quietly, reflecting the amber tones of Christmas Eve. This kind of border does not chase perfection. Its beauty lies in presence, in the way it anchors the garden and allows everything else to feel intentional. At the end of the year, that feeling matters. It reminds us that strength can be gentle, and structure can still feel welcoming. And as the timber line guides your eye forward, it leads naturally into the next space, toward another idea, another quiet transformation waiting just beyond the edge. Ten, brick plus wood fusion raised bed. Imagine a garden feature that feels like it carries two voices at once. On Christmas Eve, as the year comes gently to a close, this raised bed stands quietly in balance, grounded below, warm above. The bricks form a steady foundation, their surfaces softened by time and weather. They hold the memory of past structures, now repurposed into something that supports new growth. Above them, wooden panels rest calmly, their grain catching the last golden light of the day, adding warmth where winter often asks for it most. Inside the bed, dark soil waits patiently. Rosemary stretches upward, lavender leans toward the edge, and time begins its slow, wandering path across the border. Nothing feels rushed. Everything feels held. This fusion of materials speaks softly of harmony, of old and new, weight and warmth, strength and care. In a small patio, it becomes more than a planter. It becomes a gathering point, a place where the garden seems to pause and breathe. At the end of the year, there is comfort in structures that feel dependable. In things built with intention, using what remains. And as the light fades across brick and wood, the garden settles into stillness, ready to carry its quiet beauty forward into the season ahead. If you enjoyed these upcycled patio borders, tell me, which one would you try first? I'd love to know where you're watching from and what kind of space you're working with. Because every small patio has its own story, and sometimes all it needs is a new edge to begin again. Subscribe for more weekly DIY garden inspirations, and thank you for spending your time with Backyard Fortune. Until the next video, may your garden always feel calm, personal, and full of quiet beauty.